Bam! What is up with the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies in the building with Political Lil. Y'all know Political Lil ain't never biting her tongue. Political, what's good? What's good? What's good?
All right, what's going on? Let's hit it. Let's get it.
Let's hit it. Let's get it. What's good? What's good, y'all? Coming in the door. Coming in the door. Let me apologize first. I had to move the Gamecock show to 4:45, but I'm so glad that I had to move it because I got so much more to say. Don't miss that show. We got hoops coming up tonight. We gonna have some fun. Let's get into this conversation because this is what y'all here for today. This is what y'all here for right now. It's PoliSports tea time with Cess Talk Sports and Political Lil. And today's topic, we're going to talk about the video we dropped earlier this week. Sports propaganda, engineering consent in the racialized world of sports. The WNBA's 2025 plot to undermine black excellence. And so, the WNBA, of course, Groovy, what's good? Jeremy, what's happening? The WNBA, of course, is preparing to renegotiate the collective bargaining agreement. But we're seeing this a pattern. It's disturbing. They're really pushing. They're really going into this singular face pushing of Caitlin Clark as the face of the WNBA, and they minimize it in erasing and kind of under marketing not only the black veterans, but even the new black rookies and the young black and brown faces for me, right? Because we've got international players and there's some dynamics there that I think we need to work out as far as like the ages that they're coming in, but we got a lot of black and brown veterans and new talent, accomplished players who built this league, and it's not random. It's strategic. That's the part that we want people to know. Coming in here, y'all, hit the like and share this thing out. I need 5 of y'all to hit the like, hit the share, put share it in the comment. Let folks know we're here having this conversation. But we're gonna explore how this plot connects to Edward Bernays' playbook in his book Propaganda, where public opinion is engineered by the elite, and Tom Burrell's Brainwash, a book we reference a lot here on the show, which shows how deeply anti-black messaging shapes how we see ourselves and others. And today we're going to ask, what is the propaganda machine doing in women's sports, and why is black excellence always the target? Let's break it down. What do you think, Lil?
Well, thank you, Auntie Cess. Let me say this. Propaganda doesn't just tell lies. It tells stories with a purpose. And in the WNBA, that purpose seems to be crystal clear. The recent GM player survey dropped just days before the season opened. I don't think it was some harmless preseason chatter. I think it was strategic. The public-facing document, conveniently elevated a second-year player as the most impactful player. And before even the league got, the season got started. And I think it was designed to downplay seasoned black champions. And that's not analysis, that's an agenda. What we're seeing here is the manufacturing of a white star. And the narrative seems to be constructed to attract a white conservative male audience. The league thinks it needs for them to grow. And to make that story work, the WNBA is willing to erase or minimize the excellence of the very black women who built the league from the ground up. It's not just about, Caitlin Clark. It's just propaganda in action. It's a well-funded effort to reshape public perception, recenter whiteness, and rewrite the future of the league. And the most dangerous part of it is that it's being done through media collusion, marketing bias, and institutional silence. And that's all under the guise of growth.
Yeah, okay. Before we really get into it, let me say this. Let me say this. I gotta say a few things because I see. Let me say this first. This platform wasn't started as a debate platform. That's not what the Cess Talk Sports community is about. We're here for conversations. You don't have to agree. Can't be disrespectful. This is a protected, safe space for conversation. So for the trolls that want to come in with the energy like you want to tell us, we're not here to change your mind. We're here to have a conversation. Lil gonna share her opinion. I'm gonna share my opinion. You all can share your opinion. But it's not for the back and forth. We're not here for the debate, because the debate doesn't help move the conversation along. The debate doesn't help the situation. the back and forth arguing and the trolling doesn't help have a responsible conversation around the topics that we're dealing with. So, for the people who are going to jump in the chat now to tell us how great Caitlin Clark is, I'm not even addressing those. I just, if you need finger exercise, we here for that. We up here for about an hour. Type your hearts out. I have no response for that, because the first thing I'm gonna say as we coming into this conversation is nobody hates Caitlin Clark. I hate the way that Caitlin Clark is allowing herself to be used. I hate the way that she's allowing herself to be weaponized, and I hate the way that she's allowing herself to be the face of a bullshit narrative and a bullshit strategy that really has no place in sports. Sports should be the most racially free space of anything else, of any place that we have on earth. If you can play, you can play. If you can't, get in the stand. That's that. Now, the other part that I have with the other problem that I have with Caitlin is that she got talent. She has talent, and you can tell that she takes pride in what she does, because she went to work in this offseason and came back bigger than she was last year. She came back better than she was last year. So give her a chance to earn the stuff that y'all are trying to hand her. That's my issue. Let her earn it. If she earned it, she earned it. But stop trying to hand her something on a silver platter that she ain't even put enough time in the WNBA to have. Y'all are trying to make her the face of a league that she haven't even played 2 seasons in. Make that make sense. Y'all trying to make her the face of the league and an ambassador of a league that she couldn't even speak on for real. What has she done in the league? You're trying to make her the face of a league and an ambassador of a league where, and y'all gonna tell me, she broke 62 records. She broke 62 records. Up until last season, how many of y'all were even keeping up with them records? I've never walked into a basketball season and been like, man, I can't wait to see who's gonna break the most records this year. No, because you don't come into the season thinking that. You come into the season waiting to see who's gonna be the last one standing at the end of this thing. Period. So let's start there, because and let's take the focus off of it. Oh, you saying this about Caitlin? I'm not saying shit about Caitlin. Nothing. I have nothing negative to say about Caitlin. What I said was she don't play defense. What she showed me was this season she's back trying to play defense. What I said was she may end her career as one of the greatest. If her career ended today, she wouldn't be one of the greatest for me. But she's got a long career ahead of her, so let's see what she does. But what I am saying is there are women here who have a resume that says greatness that should be shouted about from the tops of the roofs when we talking about the WNBA. Because it was the people whose backs y'all been standing on. So, now that I got that off my chest. Sorry, Lil, had to get on my soapbox there for a minute. Miss D, what's good? Dannyberry Sports Highlights, what's happening? Eagles, Brother 92, what's good? So, let's set the table before we dig into the team. We're going to talk about how Caitlin Clark is being positioned as the new face and the savior of the WNBA, while proven black stars like Aja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Arike Ogunbowale are strategically sidelined. We're going to talk about this from the standpoints of marketing money, media visibility, and who gets the mic and the dollars when it's time to promote the league. So, as Bernays said, propaganda is about manipulating public opinion. And right now, the WNBA is doing just that, crafting a version of the league that caters to a white conservative gaze, which is even more irritating to me because as a fan who's been here, since 1997, I'm like, when are you going to start catering to me? All of a sudden, we're not good enough. You need this new fan. You need this new dollar. You gotta cater to this other group of people who aren't even real fans. They're casual fans, fringe fans. They're here for the championships and the big games in between. They're not tuning in on Friday night in May, trying to figure out how to watch all 3 of the games at 7:00 at the same time. They're not the ones that's trying to figure out how to pay for 4 or 5 different subscriptions to be able to stream all these games, all these different. I got to have Ion, I got to have Prime, I got to have the local station, I got to have League Pass, I got to have all of these different things, and all that's not them. But that's who y'all trying to bring to the game now. And I understand. It's the money. But like Tom Burrell reminds us, black inferiority is a lie as well, but a powerful one. The myth of white innocence versus black aggression still shapes who gets celebrated and who gets erased. Lil, how does the league's treatment of black stars reflect Bernays' idea that the public must be guided by a smart few?
Well, the WNBA, they consistently center the media attention, around a select few players, and they're usually white, racially ambiguous. And they sideline black women who are leading in performance and impact. And this imbalance isn't about talent, it's about narrative control. Black stars like Aja Wilson and others, they're often overlooked in league promo, highlight reels, major campaigns. And it sends a message that their dominance isn't marketable, which is false and is deeply rooted in bias. And, this kind of erasure sets the stage for undervaluing them when it's time to negotiate. And that time is now. And that's what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think this is about talent or about shaping a white-centered narrative that feels safe and mainstream to advertisers?
Well, it's always that. The same people that run the league are the same people that head corporations. But they act like people that look like us don't spend money, in these corporations. And that's not true. We do. We support these companies. And the fact that we have been fans since the conception, that should account for something. I just can't see why the league feels a necessity to totally abandon, the entire fan base that it started with. This should be the conservative male that's coming into the picture now. That should be an add-on, not an erasure. You don't have to diss us to bring them on. If you're trying to build. So I just am not sure what they're trying to build.
So I got a question. As we sitting here talking, this just came to mind, and I'm thinking about this from the perspective of, let's talk about the Nikes and the Gatorades for a moment, right? Let's talk about the Nikes and the Gatorades. So you'll say, Nike, you're helping in this push to make Caitlyn the face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then people are like, yes, okay, this is what they doing. We're gonna go out here and we're gonna boycott Nike. We're gonna boycott Gatorade, right? But the double-edged sword of that is, well, then how the hell you gonna buy Asia shoes?
Mm-hmm.
So they set themselves up in a way where we're gonna get your money anyway.
Yeah, Nike is very sophisticated in the way they
Nike, Gatorade too. Think about Gatorade. Gatorade got Caitlyn up there. Matter of fact, I think Caitlyn Shador got a Gatorade commercial right now. You got Caitlyn and Asia in the same commercials at times. So when you say, okay, how do you step away, or how do you show your disdain, right, or lack of support for a company or a corporation, when at the same time the push is the way that you show that this is what you want to see more of is going out spending your dollar on it. So the way to show Nike that you want to see more Asia is to pay Nike more money. But the way to tell Nike that you want them to push Asia as hard, or it's in the same fashion that they push Caitlyn, is by taking your money away from Nike.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's a catch-22, ain't it? How do you find that balance?
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty much a catch-22. Only thing you can really do is, make sure that you have a pair of her shoes on. When Caitlyn shoes come out, her people gonna support that.
Yes.
So right now, Asia shoes should be on every foot in our community. If you can
we sold them out. We sold them out. Now that's the other thing they'll do. They'll put them at a price point where maybe a lot of Asia's mainstream fans can't afford them.
Yeah.
Right. So then what? It was I just thought that was interesting. Like, so it's like you trying to figure out this master plan to be able to use our voice, right, and to be able to amplify certain players, certain situations, support around certain causes, but when you look, it's the same person at the table in both meetings. So how do you actually hold Nike accountable? How do you hold Gatorade accountable? How do you say, I wonder, if y'all got ideas in the chat, let me know. But go ahead.
No, I was saying, because of social media, you can still direct comments, to these entities, and they have social media people that's listening to the pulse of what we're doing. Because if you think about it, remember before Aja had her shoe, it was so much hell being raised about them potentially, coming out with Caitlin's shoe first, that Nike, they start stepping up things. Because the truth is, we do spend about $2 billion, on shoes with them, and you just can't. I mean, unless you just don't want that money, you can't really discount that. Kind of narrative. Of the main thing is that we got to stay vigilant on social media, pushing them towards, just supporting these athletes. You shouldn't have to win 3 MVPs and 2 championships, defensive player of the year 2 times, and wait 6 or 7 years to bring out a shoe, and then here come a person in there win rookie of the year and allegedly break all these records, which 62 records. Okay, I really don't believe that, but
that's the most recent number I remember them typing in the chat.
Yeah, they come out with that, but I don't even think it was 62.
Don't hold me to that. I didn't go look them up. I'm just that's the most recent number I
don't even know if it was 62 categories of records, in a freshman. I'm a freshman in a rookie campaign. But anyway, so I mean, it's a difficult thing because of the way this country is structured. We don't have any like black channels even on TV that we predominantly own. We don't own BET. The stockholders own TV One.
We don't own.
Yep, don't own. We don't. They sold to some geographic people. And so these are ways that they keep our voices muted, but want to keep the dollars rolling in. So you don't want to hurt the athlete, by not supporting them.
Because the first thing they're going to say is, see, we gave Aja a shoe and didn't nobody buy it. She ain't marketable.
Yeah. So, you don't want to do that. So it is a catch-22, but it doesn't negate the fact that you feel like you got to be constantly plotting and planning on black athletes. Those things are unnecessary. If you're gonna run them meritocracy and allow them to earn their legendary status on the court, then let them do it on the court. Don't you help it out, by propagating things that erasing their accomplishments, by minimizing them, and then glorifying someone else, using everybody to do that. We looking for just fairness here.
Let me say this. It ain't look. Okay, see, we're being nice today. Listen, I'm not. Look, I'm up on violence. I told you I've been up on violence since March. I'm still kicking here. Look, I'm gonna cut the bullshit. See, here's the thing. I see too many times people, they go out their way to show pictures of Caitlin with black people, black men, black kids, black, look the black people love her. If you don't believe me, go look. Okay, they tell you all the time at the end of the game, they'll show you. Everybody loves Caitlin. And I'm not saying that there are not people of all races that follow Caitlin. That's not my point. What I'm saying is they go out of their way to show you how relatable she is to all of these other races, but they'll tell you that Aja's not, right? The last game Aja played, I saw two stunning things that were stunning for me, that I wish people would amplify. People still don't understand how important it is to see somebody that looks like you in spaces that you want to be in, right? People don't acknowledge that all of the time. And I talked about this before, but there's a picture from this past Las Vegas Aces game over the weekend of Aja shooting a jumper. with her. She had the blues on. She had the blue Asian A1s on. And in the frame of her taking that shot is a young girl, a young black girl, looking at her taking the shot, head to toe in A1 gear. You know how important that was? You know what a visual that is? That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, to be able to see that full circle, right? That full circle. And then from that same game, and this is how marketable and how relatable Asia is. You see her then coming out of the game and she's signing her A1s, and there's pictures. You know how they do the moment by moment shots of a young white girl, probably about the same age as the young black girl in the picture. You can see her looking down. You can see her facial expression change, like her whole body lit up when she saw that this is Asia coming down the hall. And then you see Asia stop and give her the sign shoot. If that's not marketable, what is? If that's not marketable, tell me what's marketable. If that's not relatable, tell me what's relatable. If that's not stretching across all boundaries, tell me what is. They won't they won't they won't tell you about how these folks stop and want to see that little girl was starstruck in the hallway. Wasn't she Melody? Did you see her? That girl was starstruck in the hallway. Starstruck in that hallway. Like, I don't know who might would have been starstruck like that at her age. Probably like Cheryl Swoop or somebody walking down like, you know what I'm saying? It was it was like, hey, it's the one I've been waiting on. Here she comes. She the one. To be able to see that, especially at this point in 2025, to say that this thing started in 1997, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you all the time, I couldn't grow up to be a basketball player, right? So to see that now, where you can lay your head down at night and say, I'm gonna grow up to be a pro ball player, it's so important and so overlooked and so underrated, and it makes me so pissed off. Like, this is what we play for. This is why we watch. This is why we play. And for me. But I wanted to ask you, Lil, yeah, was it beautiful to see? You saw that as well. Okay, good. Yeah, y'all saw that. Both of those moments were awesome. They want people to believe she's not marketable. That little girl was. All of those little girls were so excited to see Asia, and that was my point. It didn't matter what color she was. It didn't matter what color she was. Where do you see this connecting with Tom Burrell's framing of black inferiority being sold through media repetition, though?
Well, it's you think about every platform that things are repeated on, or there's a lack of repetitive I would say repetitive influence of black athletes. And this becomes one of the problems, because that's one of the tactics that they use, in reinforcing what they're trying to do, which is, it's really not unnecessary. Like with little kids, if you don't put negativity in their head about colors, that's not something that automatically comes to their mind.
Hell no.
That's the father's thought from a kid.
They not racial. They have no racial bias, and they not scared of nothing. They'll jump off the highest building and play with anybody in the sandbox. Do you hear me? And until you put something in their heart that has them think different, they'll jump off the highest of anything and play in the sandbox with anybody. Because we all just here for fun, and we're gonna see how this thing go. That's how this thing supposed to work. This how this thing, y'all, this how this thing supposed to work. I'm sorry, Lil, go ahead.
No. Go ahead with what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like I said, let me see here. Okay, you say you've been seeing a different side of Caitlyn. Are you seeing a different side of Caitlyn? Are you seeing what? Here's the thing. I don't know. I'm gonna say this. I don't know that we've seen Caitlyn yet. I know that we've seen what her handlers want us to see. I know we see what her social media profiles and stuff see. But it's hard for me to. I'm keeping it a buck. We're having a real conversation, right? We have black women that are going into Indiana every day that are spending time with her. They come out of there and say that she ain't like that. So I'm trying to figure out, are they saying that because they need to keep their check? do they really feel like this? Because some of these people had the opportunity to just get the hell out of there if that was what they wanted to do. Some of these people had a chance to get the hell out of there. Kelsey Mitchell could have got the hell out of there, right? Kelsey Mitchell could have got the hell out of there. But I told y'all when I seen him at the game, show me it up. She wasn't going nowhere because they had fixed the money. So, who the hell is Caitlyn? That's my thing. I still don't know who Caitlyn is. I would, what was that song? With Slim Shady, Please Stand Up? Yeah, Caitlyn Clark, Please Stand Up. Yeah, Slim Shady, Please Stand Up. Who is she? Y'all, I don't know who she is. Aaliyah Boston is always listen. Aaliyah's to me. Aaliyah and Caitlyn seem to have a genuine relationship. Do y'all think it's just business related? Keep it real. Look, we're just talking. Do y'all think it's forced? Do y'all think Aaliyah really has taken a genuine liking to Caitlyn, or she's doing what she has to do to be in Indiana? Okay, you say she's cool with her black teammates. Okay, but the real Caitlyn Clark is the one we see on the basketball court. Okay, so so you saying the real Caitlyn Clark that we see is the one that pushes off, gets away with the push off, the one that I think only Burrell. Go ahead and subscribe. Okay, so she's pushing off on the floor. Does she do some dirty shots? She does. I have no problem. So Donnie, I have no problem with Caitlyn getting a shoe. But what my issue with is, and it's not even just the shoe. My issue is, okay, you think it's not real. Okay, Keisha, good. Let's talk about that. But my issue with Nike is, why not push them the same? That's my thing. Why not push them the same? Why not have the same marketing machines behind them? And why would you push somebody who hasn't won anything yet more than you push somebody who's won? Like, you didn't see people getting shoes that weren't winners. That's all I'm saying. Have her earn it first. Okay, so Keisha, you said it's not real. The cookie cutter Caitlyn is the version we see at the press conferences and out in the public signing autographs. I'm not interested in cookie cutter Caitlyn. AB is friendly with everyone. She's an island girl with a good disposition. AKA she's been through a lot. This Clarkation invasion isn't going to phase her at all. Look, I mean, she's very seated in her. You just had a back and forth political about this guy the other day. Yeah, that's Political Lil. I think they told Aaliyah, if you don't develop this relationship, you will be traded or let go. Why would that scare Aaliyah Boston? See, the thing about this is, Aaliyah Boston is still one of the best bigs in this league. Like her or not, one of the best bigs in this league. That's a rookie of the year. Tell me the team that wouldn't take her. You don't develop chemistry in team sports without an actual level of bond and respect. You actually don't. You gotta have a relationship with your teammates. I agree. Why is Caitlyn fans hating on Paige and Aja all of a sudden, especially during Aja jersey retirement? Are those Caitlyn? I keep asking you though, are those Caitlyn fans or are those Caitlyn stands? Like, y'all gotta make a difference. It's a lot of stuff going on politically and entertainment wise, and then basketball wise in this arena of basketball right now. Some of that shit don't have anything to do with basketball. But this is a good face for the narrative that we want to push. And nobody is pushing back on us using this face for our narrative. And that I take issue with that. Nike hasn't really been pushing CC. Have you noticed? It's not time for a shoe to come out yet. But they gave her a $28 million deal. They put her in some commercials. And again, my issue is, what did she deserve a shoe for? Just like, what has she done to deserve a shoe? And then what has she done to deserve her jersey being retired? Again, I'm not saying that she shouldn't have a shoe at some point. I'm not saying that her jersey shouldn't be retired at some point, but earn it. That's where I'm at. Yeah, I saw some Caitlyn Clark fans going after Paige, which is weird. It's about basketball. For these people that's going back and forth with people about that, it's not about basketball. Didn't Orlando push out Both Shaq and Penny being their 2 number 1 draft picks back to back. Yeah. You mean did they push him as far as like hype him? You want to talk to us to say what? Tim, what's happening? I noticed Aaliyah doesn't even wear her color braids anymore. No, she retired those last year. She told us that she was retiring those last year. Yeah, stop letting losers do loser shit. You do winner shit. That's what it is. She comes off kind of coonery, but it could be media training to make it look like they're cool. So, coonery. Interesting. So here's the thing about Aaliyah. Aaliyah's from the islands. And then she's a church girl from, I believe, like a 2-parent household where her mother is like a minister or something. Is that right? Y'all help me out. Am I kind of close to it? So coonery, no. Is she? But she's also it's not coonery. I get so people so tired of people calling people that are non-confrontational coonery. Some people just aren't confrontational. That's not what she does. That's not how she fights back. That's not how she makes her. That's not how she makes her contribution um to the culture. Everybody don't have to be the chest beater. Everybody don't have to be the brick thrower. Like you need a lot of different people to play their parts in changing something and pushing back on narratives. And you push back on narratives and bullshit in different spots. That ain't who she is. But that don't make her no coon. That shit's crazy to me. You guessed the record CC broke. Said she should get some shoes. I don't know. It'll launch in 2026. Okay. Tim from Germany was good. I seen somebody in the chat earlier say they don't like how black men defend Caitlin Clark than the girl that look like us. I'm a black man, and should I defend Angel Reese taunting too? No, you don't have to defend Angel Reese taunting. But what were you defending Caitlin from? What happened to Caitlin that she needed defense from? I would like to know that. But she's different from the norm. She not. Who are you saying she's different from the norm here? Aaliyah, she not from here. Yeah, not no coon. Caitlin Clark stuff. So what's the topic? What's the problem? We don't have a problem with Caitlin. What we're talking about is the propaganda being used to erase the black importance and the black excellence in the WNBA. I'm noticing more black men on YouTube promoting CC and hating on Angel. So, but okay, so let's have this conversation real quick. Every time the Fever wins, they always give the win to Caitlin and not the team. But okay, but I would say this, Keisha, when the Aces win, Asia get the win. When the Liberty win, Stewie get the win. When the Warriors win, Steph get the win. Like usually, the face of the organization gets the win. Now it's unfortunate that they have Aaliyah Boston there, who should be looked at as a face of the organization too, as a rookie of the year and a foundational piece of what they're doing. But the Fever have made a conscious decision to make Caitlin the face of the team. It's her team, so she gonna get the win. But as far as like the black men on YouTube promoting CC, those people that are promoting CC and hating on Angel, ask them, do they even really watch basketball? A lot of these people that are on YouTube, especially and the social media doing it, is because it's clickbait. People click on it, they listen to it, respond back to it, make the engagement go high. They make a lot of money off of stuff that they're probably not even watching. A lot of them people go and search on YouTube and see what was hot today, and then they're going to talk about that, whether they watched the game or not. Do a quick summary, say some stuff that they know is going to make people click on it and make people go crazy, and then they at home sleeping like a baby because they didn't give a damn about Caitlin or Angel or the WNBA. They just wanted to make a buck for the day. So you also, and this is something me and Lil talk about. You also have to be more responsible of what you take in as fact on social media. Some of this stuff is just clickbait. You like check your sources. Do a deep dive on some of this stuff. Y'all will take a headline and run with it. It's not Caitlin Clark herself. It's her fans that are creating all the controversy and culture vultures war stuff. Yeah, and it's the same people. It's those same people that come in here and interrupt the real conversation with troll comments that you guys block. That they keep pushing and spinning this narrative, along with some help from the real media, which is a good segue into us breaking down how the media, especially giants like ESPN, Nike, and even the league itself, are all part of this broader propaganda machine. So it ain't just coverage, it's coordinated. Black women athletes are framed as aggressive, angry, controversial. Don't matter. We can look at hate bait more like we can look at this weekend situation, right, Lil? Angel hopped up off the floor, angry, aggressive, out of control. Look at her, angry black woman. What is she gonna do? Oh, stop her! You gotta save her, right? Caitlin Clark makes that same type of play. Grit, humility, relatability, basketball play. I love that both of them said it was a basketball play. Move on. It was a basketball play. No more. No, move on. From Cheryl Miller to now, right? We've seen black excellence erased or minimized. Most of y'all probably haven't ever seen a clip of Cheryl playing, even as these women dominated in the game. So Tom Burrell says we've been conditioned to see whiteness as leadership and blackness as the laborer or the problem. And that's not a coincidence. That's a system, right? And then Bernays taught us those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government. In sports media, that invisible hand is very visible if you know what to look for. Lil, thoughts on that?
Well, let's just be clear on this. You know, propaganda, it don't move on its own. It has agents and architects. The first one are media conglomerates, ESPN, Fox, CBS. They don't just report the game, they actually shape it. They build these narratives, anoint heroes, and create conflicts where there are none. A perfect example is what happened, you know, in the FIBA Sky game. You know, like the GM survey ESPN dropped before the season opener, that wasn't just bias. That was like a billboard for who the league want us to care about. It's messaging and it's crafted for maximum impact. And they don't act alone. You know, the WNBA, and I'm more than sure that these sponsoring media partners, along with their corporate partners, you know, they all meet and decide, you know, who's going to get the ad campaigns, what we're going to do with the shoe deals, who's going to become a household name, because they're not neutral. You know, they going to sit back and push for something that's safe and relatable, and, you know, mostly something that looks like them. And they you know, they'll just sideline black women who already, you know, built the culture. And then the fans, they jump in too. You know, they regurgitate, propaganda, you know, all on these different social media threads. You know, so it's not just one villain. It's a whole system. They all had the same goal, and that's to control what it is you think. You know, it's a mind game, and they want, you know, want to control who's gonna be profitable in this thing, who's gonna make a lot of money, and who's gonna, you know, pick up a few scraps. And you know that it shouldn't be that way, but it is kind of the way it is.
I got a question for everybody in the chat. So when you go out and you spend your money, right, on shoes to support an athlete, shoes, jersey, t-shirt, going to see them, why are you going to see them? Why do you go to see them? Is it because they broke records or because they're winners? I'm wondering. I've never been like, man, he got the most points ever in college basketball. Let me go get your jersey. I've never been that type of basketball fan, right? I don't.
Excuse me.
Let me see. Y'all kill me with the Steph Curry comparisons. No, what Caitlin Clark. Here's the thing: what Caitlin Clark is doing on the court, she's doing her own self. Yeah, Caitlin Clark. She goes out there, she shoots those triple doubles, she shoots those Steph Curry logos. She's improved her turnovers, but what she hasn't done is won. What she hasn't done is won. And then I seen somebody else in the chat talking about the oh gosh, I wish people would just take a step back for a moment and then do some research, right? So I saw, and I think it was only Morale was in the chat, like the ladies weren't flying charter before Caitlyn. That's not factual.
But see, that's the
So
beauty of
the actual,
propaganda, though.
right? That's the propaganda, and that's the part
That
that people
they
get caught up
fool
in,
you.
and that's
Yeah.
and
They
it just
make you believe something that's not a fact.
a quick Google search would tell you that the actual getting to the charter flights has been coming into the works since the new commissioner came in, right? Since she came in, they've been easing and working their way into charter flights. First of all, being able to coordinate a charter flighted contract doesn't even just happen overnight. Like Caitlyn's here, let's charter the flights now. That doesn't happen like that. You put together a request for proposal. You have to come up with what are the requirements. When do you need them? How do you need them? Where are they going to meet? Right? You get people's prices in. You then you cut a deal. But before all of that, when she got here, what they started doing first with the charter flights was they let you fly charter in. They eased into allowing you to fly charter in the playoffs. Look it up. It's out there. And then after that, I think they allowed you to fly charter on back-to-back flights, right? On back-to-back games. Did the arrival of Caitlyn help speed that up? Propaganda would have you think that, but it wasn't just the arrival of Caitlyn. Because 18 million people aren't showing up just to see Caitlyn. They're showing up to see Caitlyn play against who? Angel. So it's the arrival of all of these stars. It's the next level. It's the next level of the growth of the WNBA that takes it to this level. It's the fact that you're bringing in now. You're bringing in now players that have more followers and fans than the league itself. So yes, you can't have a person who has 5 million followers on Instagram just sashaying through a regular airport trying to get to a flight. Don't work like that. Don't work like that. Got to get them chartered. Got to get them out the way. Got to get them got to get them a way to not disrupt the business of basketball to keep them on time. So did that help? Did that help push it along? Yes, but it was not done. It wasn't done just by her. And that's the conversation that's the conversation that I keep having, and that's the conversation that I'm tired of having with people like only Morale. So it was propaganda that last year's draft you went up 300%. I just told you what it was. It wasn't just Caitlyn. People didn't show up. Here's the thing. Caitlyn was a great basketball player. Nobody was really showing up to see Caitlyn do what she was doing until this. She either became a victim, right? For some of y'all, some people, she immediately became the most hated person in basketball for them, and some people became a fan. But it took this. See, nobody goes to see Optimus Prime without Megatron. Like, this is still entertainment that we talking about, y'all. There's a good and a bad that they cast into this thing. So no, it was. Did Caitlyn help that? Yes. But here's the thing, only Morale. Here's my fucking problem with what you're saying. Because what you're saying is Caitlyn shouldn't be getting no hate. And what the fuck you should be saying is, should none of these fucking women be getting no hate? And they all getting hate. And that's my issue with it. So your point is that Caitlyn shouldn't be getting no hate. But you didn't say shit about the hate that Angel get. You didn't say shit about the hate that Aja get. You didn't say shit about the hate that Rakia get. You didn't say shit about the hate that Camilla get. That's my fucking problem with the whole thing. Is that y'all only talking about Caitlyn in this shit. And it was 36 motherfuckers that got drafted last year. 8 or 9 of them that stuck. And you only talking about Caitlyn. But they all made the league better. It's that short-sightedness. It's that one-sidedness. It's coming from that angle of the conversation that got us up here talking about this stuff like that. It's that erasure that we talking about. That's the shit that we up here talking about right now. You sit up here talking about Caitlyn shouldn't be getting no hate. When you should be talking about shit, none of them be getting no hate. But that ain't what you on, though. You up here on some other bullshit. That's what I'm on. That's my whole problem with this whole shit. My bad, Lil. What was you finna say? I'm down there dealing with the conversation with that stupid ass comment like that.
But you know what? You don't get too wrapped around the ankles. I mean, a lot of these people have been falling for this so long that they believe anything they hear. I'm amazed at the fact that people don't critically think about things. They don't question anything. It's just, I'm gonna look at TV. I'm gonna look at social media is like the worst, information source. And and you hear anything, you believe it. I mean, this whole society has been carefully manipulated for hundreds of years. This guy, Bernays, he wrote this book in 1928. He started the public relations industry, the advertising industry in this country. And he uses the same 4 methods have been rolled out year after year after year, and it's never questioned. And this is why you get people in the White House that's going to clean you out and leave country dry. This is why you manipulated by the elite. When you got 22 million millionaires in this country, 340 million people being manipulated by 22 million people, actually by 546 billionaires in this country. That's because they use the media to poison your mind and to get you thinking that everything they saying is what is absolutely the truth. And if you just do a little bit of looking and searching, you'll understand how you're being gaslighted and manipulated. When we bring you all this material, we're not bringing this just off the top of our head. We don't giving you 2 books that speak on the subject that we're talking about. We always reference material that has been studied, been in academic circles, been thoroughly researched. Nothing about this system is hidden. This system has been in operation since the conception of this country. And so there's nothing hidden about the system. It's just that, the powerful elite, why do you think they're trying to eliminate the education department? Because they want crash dummies. They want people to go around believing anything they tell you, anything you see on TV.
What?
What? No question.
Lil, you got people watching videos made by robots that sound like robots telling you, taking that shit for fact. It sounds like, and on the day that she came, bro, how is that a fact? Bro, y'all need to get back. Hey, listen, I'm old in this. I'm old in this bitch, okay? I'm gonna have a real conversation with y'all this afternoon. I'm old in this thing, okay? I had to learn the Dewey Decimal shit to be able to go in the library and be able to look up a book and understand, to be able to go and get some facts. I had to turn in papers where you had to have 5 sources. You had to interview somebody. You had to read a book. You had to get an article. You had to check the encyclopedia, and you had to find some other way to be able to verify the facts that you was putting down and on your name. Y'all too quick to put some bullshit on your name. Y'all too quick to put some shit out there. Y'all don't care enough about your name not to push bullshit with your name on it. Y'all don't even care to verify some of the shit that y'all type in the chat. And I tell y'all, when I don't know. If I'm wrong in the chat, let me know.
And another thing y'all
gotta be able to verify this shit that y'all spitting out of here. 88 in the chat. Run them likes up. Thank you, Jeremy. But come on now.
I mean, be more of a critical thinker.
Y'all gonna tell me they love Caitlin Clark because y'all ain't seen a white girl do that before. So what that tells me is that you ain't watched enough fucking basketball. You don't know who Jackie Styles is? Look her up. Google it. I ain't even went to Sue Bird. I'm going all the way back to Jackie Styles. Oh, because she was gonna change the league. Remember? I ain't even gonna talk about how Sabrina was gonna change the league. What slowed down? And I got a video. There's a video in my fucking library about how y'all forgot about Sabrina. See, what happened with Sabrina was COVID killed her. Sabrina was supposed to be the one that took down Big Bad Dawn and the Gamecocks. Remember? Think about it.
Yeah.
Go back and think about it. That was the class they was waiting on. That was gonna get Dawn ass now. Oh, Oregon was coming. Remember? Oh, y'all don't want to talk no more.
She came straight into the league with a shoe deal.
You hear me? Came straight in the league with a shoe deal. How y'all don't talk about Sabrina in that school? She just got her. She just was a 3-point champ the year before Alicia Gray. They did the same thing with Sabrina.
Kelsey
They forgot
Plum was
Jeremy.
supposed to be the next savior.
Oh, Kelsey Plum. There go another one. Remember Kelsey? Caitlin broke her record. Y'all don't even remember Kelsey though. She just got her jersey retired. Remember? Y'all don't remember because y'all ain't been watching that fucking long. But see, y'all talk like y'all do. Y'all be so quick to type. Boy, y'all be so confident typing and cutting and pasting and seeing what the goddamn chat GPT told y'all to put out here. Come on, man. Check your facts. Because see, I'm not just talking about some stuff that I've seen on TV. I'm talking about what I lived. I saw this come together.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a hooper. There was no league to grow up in. Do you know how much I paid attention in this one? Man, stop playing with me. Let me say this too. My bad. I gotta get this in here. DJ B-side with the super chat fam. I do appreciate the support. I was on my shoebox. I did not get to play the sound of money. Soapbox though, but I appreciate that. I didn't mean to get in here on my soapbox today. We really had a conversation we was gonna have. I done went all over the place, but the comments in the comments in the chat, wow.
You know what? Let me say this right quick. Listen. If you all would, please go listen to the recorded version of the subject so that when we do it to give you time to refute anything we saying. And so when you come here, yeah, have your, we go right down the, the each little segment, and then you can have your, your rebuttals or whatever it is you're trying to put out. But to come in here, start comparing, layups and assists, that's not what we here to do. This is an educational form. We're trying to give you all a political view of the institution of sports. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books written on this institution called sports, because it is a racialized labor market. So certain things happen. There's a hierarchy. People in charge at the top and the labor at the bottom. This is not nothing new. We just wake up and come up with a subject. We take a lot of time to put these things together so that we can have an intelligent conversation. I'm not here to have an idiotic conversation, a back and forth. I don't want to kind of spend my time like that. I'm here to teach and learn. Learn from you all, and to teach a particular subject. And I wish you all would kind of respect that, because this is being talked about everywhere, and everybody is looking at the same thing: the system. Not the person, not the player, the system, because that's what it's about, trying to get to an equitable, fair system. It's going to be very important in this political climate, because we're in the middle of a CBA negotiation. And so please don't think that the owners want to come out here and load up the pockets of the players. They don't. They want to keep as much money of the revenue as they can, and since it's a large pool of marginalized people that play the game, they want to pay them pennies if they can get away with it. So anyway, that's my comment on that.
What up, Key? So I mean, yeah, and we didn't really come here to have this conversation just about Caitlin, but it fits because we talking about propaganda, and propaganda is just not about lying. It's about constructing the truth that serves power, right? In sports, it follows a 4-part psychological cycle. Selection. They pick which players and narratives get the spotlight. Tell me they don't. Tell me when I get to the lie part. Amplification. Then they flood the zone. Media features, praise, commercials, right? I'm going to tell you this. Think about it. Repetition. That message gets drilled in over and over again until it feels like fact. Erasure. And meanwhile, they silence other voices, especially when those voices are black and powerful. That ain't random. It's a script. And we're watching it play out in real time.
That's right. That's right.
In real time. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm gonna connect the dots on it. Let's go back to
Okay.
the 4 methods that they use in the cycle. The selection is Caitlin Clark. She's being chosen as the story, not because she's talented, but because she's convenient. Then the amplification part. Look at the nonstop headlines, the commercial rollout, the endless sports center clips. They're flooding the market with her image. Then there's the repetition. Every platform is echoing the same narrative. She's the savior. She's the future. She's changing the game. And at the same time, you put in number 4, which is the erasure. Where's the spotlight on Aja Wilson? Where's the credit for Chelsea Gray or Riki? Even Brianna Stewart. This isn't just forgetting, it's strategic silence. And this is what is meant by engineering consent. It's about guiding the public to accept a reality that was never neutral in the first place. And you look in these comments and you can tell, oh, it's working like a charm. Because I haven't seen too many critical thinking, comments, and it can't be refuted. You can go read the book yourself.
Exactly. But let's think about why it all matters. Why it all matters is because this propaganda machine is working overtime in 2025. And I mean, like, it's not cultural; it's economic and political warfare. The collective bargaining agreement is up for renegotiation. So, in the world, this labor visibility equals leverage. In a world of labor, visibility equals leverage. The more visible and marketable a player is, the more negotiating power they hold. Do you hear me? The more negotiating power they hold, not just for themselves, but for the league as a whole. So what happens when you push black veteran stars, the very backbone of the WNBA, into the shadows? You weaken their voice at the table. You make it easier for owners to shape a new deal that benefits their agenda, leaning into a conservative white male fan base while exploiting the labor, culture, and leadership of black and brown women behind the scenes. Bernays said, propaganda isn't just about selling products. It's about controlling public opinion to suppress resistance. And that's what the strategy is all about, erasing power before it can be exercised. So Aja won't look as powerful walking in a room because you haven't pushed her as the face of the league. Think about that. And I say that, think about this. Michael Jordan don't come out too much, but when he come out, God damn it, they sit up in their chair, don't they? Or they come out when they know Michael is coming. Why? Because they know he was the face of this thing. Michael Jordan don't come out often, but when he do, he don't say much. But when he does, if he say that he wants something, does it go that way? Why? Because he has the power behind being pushed as the face of the league. Right? The stakes couldn't be higher. The stakes couldn't be higher, Lil. Let's talk about it.
Well, we talking about player autonomy. Will black women still have control of their careers? Are they gonna get boxed out for a brand new agenda they didn't consent to? And then you got to think about the economics. Who's gonna get big contracts, the endorsement deals, and the off-court opportunity? Then brand equity. Will future stars like Angel and Aja build generational value, or are they gonna be commodities? Then when their career over, be discarded. If you erase today's leaders and destabilize the pipeline of black women who could one day be team owners, coaches, and run front offices, you give us no room to be in the league. And it's not paperwork. It's just a battlefield. And propaganda is just the pregame. If we don't call it out, we're gonna wake up one day where black women have built a house and no longer had the keys to the front door. And this is what is so important about us putting these conversations out in the algorithm, so that these young ladies who have built the league and are the backbone get an opportunity at the table.
Lil, I want to give you opportunity to respond to Tim. Tim is saying, hold up, political. Juju got more commercials and spotlight than Clark and Aja Wilson. She ain't done nothing, and she got a shoe deal, and is considered the player that will take over the W.
I'm not talking about Juju Watson. She's not in the CBA deal. We over here talking about what's happening with the stars we have now. I don't want to talk about Juju. I want to talk about Aja. And the people that are
And let
in
me
the
push. I
game
want to
now,
push back a little bit on that. Juju got more commercials and spotlight than Clark win. Like, are we talking about in college? Because Caitlin Clark lost and they were still showing her face. I think we could say right now you've probably seen more commercials this year of Juju. And it seemed like she was in the spotlight, but we just got finished with the NCAA season. So that's like, I mean, like you saw Powerade, you want more, you want 4, but you also saw Paige, right? You also saw some other players, in the national commercials,
like
that weren't
Flauja
national
Johnson.
champions and stuff like that, right? So Juju in college, we could talk about that. I think it's a little bit different at the college level because it's more NIL
NIL,
driven,
yeah.
and it's not so racial, right? Like we're not talking about the erasure of black athletes at that level because the NCAA would cease to exist if they erased the black athletes from that segment. That's a whole nother segment we can get into. What we talking about right now is the WNBA, the CBA, and the power that these players have based on the narratives that are pushed about them. So I did want to say that, like, there's a difference between the WNBA and how college sports makes their money. But we could talk about that on another show. Uh, so but let me know what you think about that. But Lil, how does the erasure serve the WNBA's ownership and business model going into the CBA talks?
Well, erasing black women, it helps the league downplay their value, which means they can justify paying them less when it's time to renegotiate that CBA. And it's about cutting costs while still profiting off the culture and the performance of black women bring. If they're not seen as central to the brand, ownership can argue they're not worth top tier investment. It's a calculated financial move, mass as a marketing strategy. The less visible you are, the less leverage you have when it comes to the negotiating table.
Absolutely. If the league centers uh white athletes, what happens to the demand of black women who built this league?
Their voices get drowned out, and their demands are treated as secondary. Uh, you can look at the flagrant foul incident. That lets me know that the goal of the league at this time is divisiveness. The spotlight
Hmm.
shift isn't just about image, it's about power. When you erase the backbone of the league, you silence the people that's pushing for change, equity, and accountability. Black women have been the foundation of the WNBA, but centering white athletes allow the league to sidestep the hard conversation about pay, treatment, and respect, facilities, and it becomes erasure, kind of with a political twist to it, honestly.
Hmm. And then I see. Let me see. I wanted to say because Jeff, I see you talking about Camilla Boston. This isn't the Gamecock conversation right now, but I am having the Gamecock show. If you want to come back later and talk about that, I'm not going to shift the conversation to that. But you're welcome to come back on the Gamecock show and talk about that. Um, it was one other thing I thought I saw, but and then I see you said you would kill yourself if you had to read these comments all day. I don't have to. I made the choice to do this. That's the one thing. Like it's also like mindset, how you approach stuff. If I approach this like, damn, I got to read all these comments. I made the choice to cut this camera on and read these comments to engage to be able to have this type of dialect. So it's not. It's just mindset and how you approach it. Um. Oh yeah. Let me know if I need to. Let me know if I need to. If I need to issue some warnings about how you. Let's keep in mind this is my virtual home. This is my virtual home. Respect and safety first. This is a safe space for conversation. But this ain't a public. Cess Talk Sports ain't like a public platform where people can just say whatever they want to say. Let's be clear. This is the Cess Talk Sports channel. But the beautiful thing about everybody that's in the chat, if you're on YouTube, you have the ability to cut your camera on too. So let me know, Key, if I need to issue out some reminders. Let me know because I don't mind. Camilla's not afraid of Aaliyah Boston. That, you don't even have to worry about that, Donnie. Don't let that worry. You don't. Everybody knows that's not the case. But and I'll say this real quick about that. Tell me the dominant big in the league that doesn't have a problem when they play Boston. BG throws Boston down on the ground every time she see her. Every time she see her, once a year, she throw her on the ground because she hate to see her coming. Because she's that. She's. We'll get into it, but she's that type. She's that type of energy. Don't let it make your blood boil. We'll talk about it. But people call Camilla soft, which doesn't make any sense because it's not that she's soft. They want her to be more aggressive. But let's be clear. This just ain't about basketball. It's about power, perception, and possession. The WNBA's propaganda machine is in full gear, selling us stories that erase black brilliance and silence the women who built this league. Propaganda only works when the people stay quiet, though. Yeah, we got too many tools, too much technology, and way too many truths to stay silent. Fans, we're not powerless. We're the fuel behind the marketing engine. And it's time to cut the gas off when it's burning the very women we came here to support. Period. So, Lil, what are the things that they can do right now?
You got to call out the bias coverage in real time. And don't just stroll speak. When media outlets hype up one narrative while ignoring dominant black players, you have to name it and tag it. Tag it and let them know we see the erasure for what it is. Use your dollars with intent. Support these players, buy merchandise, tickets to the games, go to the games when you can, and subscribe to their platforms. Support them in that way. And try to amplify the stories that they ignore. For example, Angel Reese just became the fastest player in history to 450 points and 450 rebounds. And during these commercial breaks between these game stoppages that I saw on that platform, the league pass, they didn't make any mention of it, and that shouldn't be. And then there was another incident where ESPN was hyping up the Fever and Sky game, and they gave 3-4 minutes, telling us all about Caitlin rookie year, and then NECA's sister, that was really disturbing. Reese is a good rebounder, and they didn't mention none of the accomplishments about her doubles and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that needs to be pointed out. Don't let them just feed you, nonsense. Stuff like that I catch and see. And I'm listening to these commentators, they give glowing words on certain players, and become deaf in silence, when you're talking about the accomplishments of others. And that's just not cool, because if you divide this league, separate these players, you're not gonna have women's basketball. What you're gonna wind up having is a bunch of little separate leagues and no big thing we could all, enjoy as a fan base.
Exactly. Y'all, I appreciate y'all pulling up with us. Y'all, listen, today, y'all, we peel back the curtain on how the WNBA, knowingly or not, is using old school propaganda tactics to shape the future of the league right now, and in a way that undermines black women who are the foundation of the sport. This isn't about hating one player. This is about truth-telling, equity, and refusing to let corporate propaganda rewrite the story of black excellence in sports. We talked about how manufactured narratives, erasure, and strategic media messaging are working overtime to control the spotlight, shift the fan base, and reshape the power dynamics ahead of the 2025 CBA. But the real issue is who gets seen, who gets paid, and who gets remembered. And when black women are the ones building the league, carrying the culture, and making history on and off the court, it's our responsibility as fans, as truth tellers, and as community members to defend their legacy from being whitewashed in real time.
Yep, and just re-listen to the audio that we did of this, so that you can kind of capture the whole argument, because we lay our argument out. And drop your comments, and continue to support us here at Tea Time as we continue to amplify the stories that should be told.
Yeah, so on the next episode, y'all, we talking profit and power, how NIL, name, image, and likeness, is changing the game for black female athletes, and why the system is already trying to take it back. Sports have never just been about the game. It's always about the stories we tell. And if we don't fight for truth, the same people who try to control our athletes will control you. your attention, your belief systems, and your voice. So be louder, be smarter, be unbought. Political Lil said something. Political Lil, you said something in the recorded part of this show that I didn't. It's being put on a T-shirt right now. It's being put on a T-shirt right now. It's gonna be the first piece of merch that comes out from the political from the PoliSports Tea Time, and it's gonna say unbossed, unbought, unbothered. Hey, live your life unbossed, unbought, unbothered. This is Cess Talk Sports and the Be Wise PoliSports Tea Time podcast with Cess Talk Sports, your favorite auntie with uncle tendencies, and the one and only Political Lil. Y'all stay wise, stay woke, stay bold. Keep listening and watching because they watching us too. Y'all know what it is. Until next time, y'all stay tuned. Talk soon.